Welcome to Love You Bro Podcast. I am your host, Jude Davella. Unfortunately, my baby brother, Jamie Davella, is not with us tonight, but we have a super fun show. Some great hosts coming on tonight. Really excited about doing that. Please follow us on all of our social media outlets, on X, on Instagram, on Facebook, as well as our YouTube channel. Please subscribe on our YouTube channel and follow our episodes. Building our subscribers is kind of how we kind of build up what we're doing. We want to bring you guys a lot more fun shows. So please subscribe to our Love You Bro podcast. We're excited about our guest tonight. I got a couple of great guests. One, a long time friend, DeJuan Bonds from Purple Label Barbershop, who is going to be on studio tonight. DeJuan has a ton of stories to tell, a great history about how he started in the hair business and the fashion business. Then we're also bringing on Cristy Guy, who was someone I met through my fiance Jessica, and Cristy has got some amazing stories that she's going to come on set and talk about. So super excited to have them on set tonight. But let's get into a little bit about, as you guys can see, I always wear my Love You Bro podcast t-shirt. Tonight, I got to wear my Royals hat because we got the home run derby going on tonight. We got our man Bobby Witt and the home run derby tonight. So good luck to him down in Arlington, Texas, where he's doing that. Super excited about that. And let's talk a bit about the Royals, the four All-Stars for one. We know Bobby Witt Jr. is going to be in there. We know, of course, Salvador Perez is in there. And then two of our pitchers, which we probably could add more, but, Seth Lugo's on the All-Star roster, as well as Cole Reagans. So good luck to all those guys in Arlington, Texas in the All-Star game tomorrow night. Bobby Witt in the home run derby. A lot of fun Royals talk because they played well in the last week. They won a game up in Boston. They won some games previous before that. So exciting to see them be in a position where, as Jamie and I talked last week, they're going to be buyers. They're not going to be sellers. And that was one of the things Jamie and I talked about last week. Was he was like, hey, if we're not good enough, if we're not ready, we're probably going to sell. That's what we're probably going to do. And we can get a lot of talent in. Where I was totally against that because I thought we're ready now and we're close now. So I didn't want to get rid of some of those pieces, and I'm glad they won enough games to keep them in contention. They took 1 of 3 in Boston, which was fun to see. I think they kind of gave one of those away, but the Royals are in a position where they're going to bring people in. They're going to make some trades. They're going to make some moves. So good luck to Bobby Witt Jr., our other All-Stars in the Royals All-Star game. But I want to talk a little bit about Jack Caglione. Jack Caglione is a kid, 6'4", 245 out of Florida, first baseman pitcher. When I went back here a few weeks ago to the College World Series, I was able to watch Florida in the World Series. And the times that we saw him play, we watched him get, intentionally walked 4 or 5 times because people would not throw to him. And looking at his stats and what he's done, Jack's, he would hit for 419 this year. His batting average was 419. His on-base percentage was 583. He hit for over 30 home runs. First guy in SEC history in the last 2 years. He put up numbers over 30 home runs. First guy in SEC history to hit more than 30 home runs in back-to-back seasons. So super excited for the Royals to get him in. The stuff that I read and saw about today, talking to JJ Picola and some of the guys that they had talked about on all the stuff that they were going to do and drafting Jack Caglione. People were asking JJ Picola, will you bring him in as just a first baseman hitter? Will you bring him in as a pitcher? And I think that's the fun stuff. Is there's nobody besides Shohei Ohtani that's doing the whole pitching hitting thing. So when you look at Jack Caglione, he's a guy that when they brought him out of the pen a few times in Florida, he hit the 100 miles per hour, which is big. That's that magic number that you like to see. But he was consistently in that 97 to 98 range. Consistently in that range when he was pitching. I know he started some starting games for Florida, but he's a guy that I think potentially the Royals have in that lineup with Bobby Witt. And hearing some of the stuff on MLB and Radvich and some of those guys that talk on ESPN and some of their guys in commentary when Caglione got drafted, they were talking about this kid's, he does more than just the bat, more than just first base. So you decide whether you're going to bring him out. I don't think he's ever going to be a starter for the Royals and their rotation, but Caglione, definitely an exciting guy that, what would it be like to put that guy in the lineup with Bobby Witt? You put Bobby Witt in that 2, that 3 hole, and then maybe Caglione in that 5 hole, Salvi in the 4. Then you got Pasquantino behind that. It's a big left-handed stick that the Royals need. It's going to be fun to see how quick he adapts. The stuff that I heard on the radio today was saying that more than likely he's going to go into they'll start him up in AA. So I'm sure he'll go to rookie ball for a minute, and then from there, put him in AA, and let's see what he does with his stick. Making that crossover from aluminum bat to wood is tough, but it's going to be exciting to see what Caglione does. Like I said, seeing this kid when I saw him at the College World Series and seeing him on the field, so he's a big kid. I mean, that left-handed, everybody knows me, knows I'm a baseball junkie, and I'm a baseball guy that I can sit there and watch guys, hit all day. I was a guy who loved, when I played, even men's fast pitch, loved to be in the batting cages, loved to take swings. You take 50, 75, 100 swings, and it never felt like enough. And watching him swing in batting practice at the World Series, just such a natural left-handed stroke. One of the comments they made on the radio earlier today when I was listening on 810, they were saying that he might be a left-handed Aaron Judge. Who wouldn't take that in Kansas City to see Caglione be a left-handed Aaron Judge? So super excited about Caglione. I know, he was on the draft yesterday. Rounds 3 through 10 happen today, and then they'll do, home run derby, all-star game, and then the rest of the rounds will continue on Wednesday. So excited to see who the Royals are going to bring in. But Jack Caglione, I'm telling you guys, I am super, super excited to see this kid, see what he does with his stick, because we can get him in the lineup next year, and we put him in there with Witt and some of those guys. This team can be a lot of fun to watch. So super excited about that. I know for as far as the Chiefs go, Chiefs camp, rookies, quarterbacks, and guys coming off injuries report tomorrow, and then the vets will be there on Friday. And in the upcoming episodes, we'll be talking more about Chiefs training camp. Jamie and I will get up to St. Joe, hopefully talk to some players, hopefully get some guys that will come on during camp, and if not, maybe between camp and the first of the season. But next week, we'll look forward to bringing on Xander Seacrest. We have Xander scheduled for next week, so we might try to get him and a couple of those guys that got drafted from Tennessee, maybe get a couple guys to join him. We'll see how that goes, but Xander is locked in to come on our set next week. So Xander Seacrest, shout out to you and your national championship with the Tennessee Vols. Looking forward to having you on, talking a little bit about College World Series with him, and then talk a little bit about the draft. Hopefully Xander gets picked up. I had not looked today to see where we were in the draft as far as what we're looking at, but we're excited to have Xander Seacrest on next week. And we'll look forward to having him on and talking about hopefully him being drafted alongside some of his Tennessee players. We just want to say thank you to our sponsors. Without our sponsors, we couldn't put this production on of Love You Bro podcast. As you see tonight, we are on a new set tonight. Our newest sponsor, Lula's Southern Cookhouse at 1617 Main Street. We want to say thank you and a shout out to Bradley and Brittany Gilmore. Thank you guys so much. Jessica and I have visited this place several times. One of our future guests did a birthday party here for his fiance, and we just the food is fantastic. It's Southern food. Lula was started here by Bradley and Brittany. Bradley's grandmother, they said Granny Lula is what they named the restaurant after. So shout out to Granny Lula. This is what the restaurant was named after, but it's a Southern Cookhouse here. The food, Jessica, chicken and waffles, and I think Jessica's favorite is the smash burger here. So sorry for throwing you under the bus and saying smash burger was your favorite, but the chicken and waffles is fantastic. We've done brunch here, but we just want to say thank you to Lula, to the Lula's, Southern Cookhouse, to Bradley and Brittany. Thank you guys so much. Super cool set. We're excited about it. And we just wanted to say thank you to Lula's Southern Cookhouse for being part of our new set and being one of our newest sponsors. As we're thanking our sponsors, we want to still give a shout out to Nimble Brewing, because Nimble Brewing was, I'm one of those people that when we do this and start this, we're always going to be people that are loyal to our production team, loyal to our sponsors, and just the people how we started this, because without them, we would have never started this. So shout out to Nimble. Thank you guys so much for letting us shoot over there on Oak Street and shoot our first episodes. So Nimble changes out their brews on a regular basis. They're sour and summer brews. Go by and check them out. Great bartenders, great people. So thank you to Jody and Kevin over there at Nimble. Also, thank you to our our main sponsor, who we've had, who allows us to put this production together of our Love You Bro podcast. So we'd like to thank Proactive Solutions. Proactive Solutions has been delivering infrastructure solutions and IT design consultation services to clients ranging from startups to Fortune 100 companies for more than 27 years. They are proud to be a Kansas City locally owned and a top women-owned business, offering custom solutions and personalized supports. You can trust Proactive Solutions with all your technology needs. If your company needs IT solutions, please reach out to Proactive Solutions at www.proactivesolutions.com. So shout out to Natalie and Dean Thede. Thank you guys so much because you guys allow us to do what we love the most. Natalie, you've known me since I've been a very young man and know the thing I like to do most is talk, and that's why we've done this podcast. So Jessica, thank you. Lily, our intern from TCU, thank you. Our production team, Dylan, Devin, you guys, thank you guys so much for being a part of this. Jim, for making this go, because without you guys, we don't get to do this. And as you guys know, we love to talk and have fun and bring on some fun guests. So a lot more episodes coming up. Thank you to our sponsors, and we can't looking forward to it more than we are excited right now with the Chiefs season coming up and all the fun episodes we got to look forward to. Welcome to Love You Bro podcast. I am your host, Jude Davella, and tonight I got a couple of very, very special guests. One has been a longtime friend of mine, another, a newer friend that we've met along the way through being in the same kind of business together. But I want to welcome DeJuan Bonds from Purple Label Barbershop. D-Bon, thank you so much, bro, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you. And Miss Cristy Guy, thank you so much for coming on, because we're super excited to hear your story, where you kind of started and where you came from. But
excited to be here.
Welcome to be here. This is one of our new sponsors here at Lula Southern Cookhouse. So one of our new spots to shoot at. We're super excited to shoot here, but I'm really, really excited to have you guys both on tonight. So thank you guys both from Love You Bro Podcast for coming on.
Yeah,
thank you.
Honored to be.
Let's just start a little bit. Cristy, I want to start with you a little bit to get in. I want to hear about where you kind of started, because like I said, being in the world that we're all in, kind of the sports world, we see a lot of different things, and you get to see all the guys and the players and stuff, and you hear all the stuff and the day-to-day stuff that they come out on, but people don't get to see the guys and the girls behind the scenes that are doing the makeup, doing the hair, making the guys look good before they're doing Travis Kelce's, his shows he does, when he does his walk, when he does his charity event, and things like that, and the commercials that you get to shoot. So tell us a little bit about how you kind of got started in that and where you kind of fit into all this.
Okay, well, it goes back quite a way.
Okay.
I've been in the business about 25 years now in January. So originally from a small town, made my way to LA to fashion school.
Okay.
Moved here, and my dream was always to work for the Chief. So ended up at a sports architecture firm of all places, but ended up working with Lamar Hunt, Clark Hunt, tons of stuff with Derek Thomas. So that's kind of like where the sports bug started.
Okay.
And I grew up as a tomboy, like only boy cousins. There were no girls in my family, so I had no chance.
Right. So was sports big in your family? I mean,
not playing sports, but following. Football, yes. My brother's a diehard.
Okay.
I always joke, but my nursery rhymes were player stats. Who's in what division?
I love it.
Yeah. Like I would go in his room before bedtime and he'd have all the magazines out, and we're like picking who's winning on Sunday. So
I love it.
That's how I grew up.
I love it. That's awesome. D-Bon, talk a little bit about Purple Label Barbershop, kind of where you kind of started from the beginning, and how you guys, I know a long time ago, met. Cristy and I talked a little bit offset earlier, and she was talking about a Rockaware shooting that you were doing with LJ back in the day with Larry Johnson. But tell us a little bit about, when we met. I know you had a barbershop, and then I know you went and did the whole Purple Label. Tell us a little bit about how you got started in the world of sports and cutting players' hair.
Sure. I mean, she mentioned Derek Thomas. So that was when I first entered into the NFL realm, which was like 98, 99, that season. And then I ended up meeting her. Well, first I met you through that time period. And I met Cristy on a Rockaware shoot with Larry Johnson, which was a few years after I had started the name of my barbershop at that point in time was called Naps.
Yes.
So
I still have your card, DeJuan.
oh wow, you still have that Naps card?
do.
Oh God bless you.
Naps, it was in Olathe on 7th Highway, right?
It was on Olathe on
Yes,
7th
sir.
Highway. So you were sending business to me over there
sir.
before Purple Label even existed. So that's kind of how it started. You know, I met Cristy on a set, and you know, I was intrigued with what she was doing, and I even asked her a few times, I was like, "How do I get in? I love this because the pay is so great. It's like I'm slaving over cuts and having to do so many cuts, and she's over here dabbing and making, you know. I mean, I'm not to negate what she does because you know, but it's easier to do set work opposed to behind the chair work, you know. So I was asking her how to get in that, and I'm still trying to figure out how to get in that thing consistently.
You're doing well, DeJuan.
Listen, both you guys are super fun to follow. I know from my standpoint, you know, doing the personal assistant work, like I said, being around DeJuan, we've had the opportunity to work several times with, you know, players, multiple players through the years, for 20 years. There was a while early on when we were working for one of our faves, Darren Sproles, out of K-State. He was with the Chargers at the time. And he was flying DeJuan out to San Diego to cut his hair. And we'd be, you know, on the same flight because I'm going out there to do personal assistant work. So that's where we started linking up and really crossing paths. And then once I saw the work he did, all the guys loved his stuff. It was easy for me to just be anybody came in town. They were like, where do I go? You know, get my hair cut. You know, Purple Label, man. Naps back in the day, but Purple Label, and that's when we started kind of meeting and hanging out.
Yeah. Let me correct you just one time.
Go ahead.
Okay. Because Sproles is a local boy, and I was cutting his hair ever since he was probably 10 years old.
Right.
But it was Michael Bennett. You remember Mike B?
I remember Mike
So
B.
Mike B was a chief.
Right.
And then Mike B was like, yo, I can't not let anybody else butcher my hair.
Right.
So he started flying me out to San Diego. And Sproles was able to jump on the bandwagon after that. So but no, I love to Mike Bennett, you know, for being able to, you know, produce that and make that all possible.
Of course, because he kind of introduced you world and ended up being in San Diego and other teams, right?
Yeah, it was like one of them things that was done before its time. Like it's nothing now for a barber to fly out and, you know, like let's just use the celebrities, any celebrities that have, you know, their own personal barber. You know, it's a thing now, but it really wasn't a thing, you know, back 15 years ago. You know, 16 years ago, it was kind of quiet. But now it's emerged and, you know, the bar has been raised to where barbers are being flown out. But I did that 16, 17 years ago, and Michael Bennett, he's the one that paved that way for me, and made it possible for all the other Charger players or whatever team he was playing for to. And not just Chiefs players. I don't want to just pigeonhole you. Just be like, hey, you're cutting stuff with football players. I know you work with a lot of the Royals and the Royals players. How did that happen over there at Kauffman Stadium? Now they built a barbershop over there, right? Is that just for anybody cutting hair over there? Is that for D-Bonds over there? Who's over there who can use that barbershop at Royal Stadium in between locker rooms? That's D-Bonds barbershop only.
That's what I wanted to hear. That's what I wanted to hear, Cristy. I wanted to hear the truth.
That's D-Bonds barbershop only.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm thankful for that opportunity. That came about. It's weird how that thing came out. You know, with the emergence of social media and the platform that barbering has been elevated to, before all of this, it was a thing where blacks was like, look, I need a haircut, and you would talk to black on black, like on who to talk to. So it was a guy named D Brown who had just became a Royal, and he actually saw a black female in passing and was like, yo, I need a cut. I just got traded here. I just got here. I don't know who's the barber. I need to find out who the barber is. And this young lady, you know, knew me through other friends. And she was like, well, hey, I can get you the barber. And I was able to get that opportunity back in, testing my math, I would just say back in 2004, maybe. That happened. And, you know, I just have nurtured that friendship, that relationship with the Royals, and been there for 20 years now.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
I want you to tell some more of you to tell some more of those stories.
Yeah.
So Cristy, I'm kind of going back and forth because there's so much for you guys both to tell. So you got into doing some stuff for the Chiefs. Have you done any stuff for the Royals at all?
I have. So we kind of work with similar people, but in much different ways. Like DeJuan works close, like kind of one-on-one.
Right.
And I come from the commercial side. So I'm part of a production. So if there's a commercial, then I'll be part of that. But yeah, I've worked Eric Hosmer, Lorenzo Kane, and then other athletes not in Kansas City. But yeah, I've done some Royals, but it's always for commercial. And so my life is one big NDA, non-disclosure agreement.
Sure,
so
absolutely.
I can never talk about anything.
I get that.
Yeah, but
I get that.
But yeah.
Good. That's really cool. So tell us about some of the work. I know, DeJuan was talking about, about where he had come from as far as where he started. We all kind of know that in Kansas City, a lot of the stuff has grown. Social media has made things grow in a lot of our worlds and the sports world. Obviously, as the Chiefs have gotten bigger and they put up, they've been won 3 Super Bowls in 5 years.
Yes.
Tell us can you talk about some of the fun stuff that you've done? Some of the fun commercials and some of the fun shoots you've done with some of the players? Is that?
I can, a little.
Okay.
I've worked with Travis and Patrick for a couple years now, and we've been on like the Subway shoots and State Farm, and I've had the opportunity to work with Coach Reed, and I'm so grateful. Like, Patrick's team is amazing, and it's just been a great ride and an opportunity to work with them.
That's awesome. I think all of us kind of know in our realm, in our world of working with these guys, to me at least, it just seems like so much has changed from when we first started working with guys to where they're at now. This team that we got now, to me, is different. It's the leaders on the team are different. But I mean, even as their status has grown, they've won Super Bowls. To me, and I think you guys can probably attest this too, they're the same kids. I remember meeting Patrick 8 years ago when he first got to Kansas City. We were there when he got drafted. But even before he got drafted, he came in for one of the visits, the 30 visits. We picked him up, I met him. And to see him now, I'm not around him. I don't work for him on a daily basis, but we cross paths. And seeing him is still that same hug, that same handshake. So I just really, really love these kids on this squad right now because as their stardom has grown, as they've won Super Bowls, to me, they're the same people. Is that kind of what you guys see when you're dealing with them, when you're crossing their paths?
I agree. I agree with that.
I do too. I also feel like it's how the Chiefs are, like
their culture,
their values, and just everything. It's like family, values, leadership, and I feel like they have so many players that follow that as well.
Yeah. I think that definitely starts at the top and goes with, with Brett Veach. It goes with, with Andy Reid. I know in doing what I've done for a long time, some of the regimes that were here earlier weren't big fans, or not. I don't want to say they weren't big fans, but they were very close to the vest of like, we don't want you to be too close, to our guys or whatever. And I feel like this newer regime that came in, they were more open arms of, hey, if there's people that are out there that can help our guys, that are part of this community, that are cutting hair, doing makeup, doing assistant work, if we've got good people out there, let's get our players to those guys.
Yeah.
Let's let those people help them and be a part of what they're doing out there. Because I think when we bring the players on, they talk a lot about not just what they do on the field, but how important people are like Cristy and, being able to go and do shoots and do their stuff, and you're doing makeup. I know you do so much more than that, but where you're meeting them, and DeJuan, just even the friendships and stuff that you've built over time and your stuff, it's not just a guy cutting their hair. It's a phone call when something's down or whatever. And I know that's kind of come up too. Tell me a little bit about some of the relationships and stuff. Not you don't have to go into personal relationships, but I'm saying about just what some of that's like with those guys as you're cutting their hair.
I first, before I go into that, I want to echo what you're saying. I mean, I think I agree with everything you're saying as far as the organization and everything like that. Pat is a true leader, and with Patrick being the humble leader that he is, I really believe that a lot of the players feed off of that same humbleness. And you don't have a lot of arrogancy on that team at all,
right?
So those guys just really just watch, as we used to say, follow the leader, you know what I mean? And they kind of watch how he conducts himself. the individual, the family man, the father, the husband that he is right now, and then they just respect that. I think. But going back to your question, when it comes to the relationships, I've been around these boys for the last. I don't really want to date myself too much, but a long time. Long time. So it went from the times and days of being able to party with them. To now becoming the OG, like right now I'm the OG, and I just kind of like listen to them and just actually, befriend with them. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I can actually give them that advice. And I can't step with them young boys anymore. I can't step with the Jews. Remember them days?
Listen, I know what you mean. Listen, I don't want to give nothing away, but I know, I know you got a birthday party coming up, and I don't want to say the number it is, but I know you got a birthday party coming up. And I just remember back in the day, Cristy, we would, like I said, we'd go to San Diego, we go to different cities and stuff with these guys. And I'm older than DeJuan. I'm older than a lot of these guys. And we would go out. We'd take the trips to Vegas. We'd be out in LA. We'd be out in San Diego. And, we used to do the club thing in Vegas all the time for some of these guys' birthdays. But no, there's no more of when guys like, hey, man, you don't get out to Vegas no more? No. Hey, listen, I'm happily engaged. Mm-hmm. I'm getting ready to get married. And I'd like to stay that way.
And I seen Jude. I seen that rock, man.
You see that?
I seen that.
I do okay? I did all right?
Tell you something. That thing was sparkling when she was transferring that drink over to
I appreciate that, man.
You're lucky, Jude. You picked well.
I'm very lucky. Jessica has been, she's been great for me, professionally, business-wise, more than just being just my best friend. She's loved my life, you guys, and she has been everything. And as we've talked about on this podcast before, she's the one behind all this. My brother Jamie is not on set tonight, but Jamie and I, she would have to listen to us talk in the mornings. We'd be like getting ready, right? I'm getting ready at my place. He's getting ready. Got it on speakerphone. Jessica's in the kitchen. She's like, you guys were on the phone for an hour talking about trades, this guy, that guy, scores, like all this stuff going on. And she's like, you guys banter every day. You got a podcast. So she was the one who came up with this whole podcast idea. Nice. And then she said, you guys can yell at each other, cuss at each other. You guys can MF each other. And at the very end of the conversation, it's, all right, bro, have a good day. Love you, bro. Yeah. And then we hang up because that's us. And D-Bonz knows this because he's been around Jamie and I for a long time.
So, Cristy, what you don't know is I'm kind of sad that he's not here today with us. And, family first. But when I first met his brother, he talked about his brother. And I said, oh my gosh, that is your brother. Like, me and my brother don't look alike. I got to tell people that's my brother.
I did see a earlier podcast. So I'm like, they
twins.
Look,
Man. Genetics didn't allow them to.
Right. One thing about my brother too, and I wish he was here, Cristy, because the simple fact, and DeJuan knows this, my he's a clothes guy. He's a fashion guy. He's a hair guy. He's a he's a guy I'm sad that he's not on this podcast tonight. It's so funny because we had Charles O'Menahue on a previous podcast, and him and Charles sat and talked clothes, talked about what Charles wears on the field, his cleats. And I remember when Travis got to Kansas City, probably his second year he was here, we were out one night and I introduced Travis to my brother Jamie, and Travis saw him, and Travis looking at him. I was like, Travis said, where else does your brother live? And I'm like, nowhere. I'm like, he's born and raised in Kansas City. He goes, man, there's no way. This dude too cool, too smooth with his clothes. He loves his clothes. Jamie was a guy that would go to Halls, and he'd be the one that had to buy the the $400 sweater and shirt and slacks and all that. And I'm the guy over here like, I'm gonna get 3 shirts for $30 because this is what it is.
Yeah, different color.
This is what it is. And Jamie's the one that people be like trying to clown like what he's wearing or something. He's like, come on, man, you're in that same khakis and white shirt I see on every Gap commercial or every, And so that's Jamie, and I wish he could have been here tonight. That's what D-Bonz I know talking about.
Looking forward to seeing him.
Yeah. Cristy, so let's go back into a little bit of your stuff.
Yeah.
I want to hear some more. I know you brought some stuff with you tonight. I'm interested in talking a little bit about, let me backtrack for a minute. I want to hear about, Jessica was telling me about that you won this contest. What was this contest that you won, and then you got invited? They took you to Super Bowl 54?
So
tell me what happened. Tell us about it. Tell the story, please.
So the 100 years of football, they had contests all year long, and they were ultimately experiences of a lifetime. So one contest, someone got to train with an NFL player. One, Travis attended someone's wedding reception. So this went on throughout 2019.
Okay.
And so I thought nothing of it, but that was the year. I love football. I love to be immersed in football season. So that year, I'm like, I'm just going to paint my face every game day, post on Instagram just because.
Okay.
And I did that. And one, can't remember when, but I was like, let me paint the 65 toss power trap on my face, my version of it.
Wow.
So I did that, thought nothing. And then a couple months later, I sat down to have dinner. And on the news, they're like, NFL's having a contest, VIP trip to the Super Bowl. Just tag them on Instagram, post your favorite Super Bowl memory. I was like, ding, ding, I have the perfect photo. So I just pulled that photo of the play that won the earlier Super Bowl.
Right. Super Bowl IV against Minnesota. Yep. Yes.
And I had a picture of me and my brother. We were like tiny. And my mom had made us Lenny Dawson t-shirts. She just did like a 16.
Okay.
But it was me and him.
Right.
So I posted that, the face paint, and then one other from that actual Super Bowl. And I tagged the NFL, and I just went on about my business. And so I actually did some work with the NFL Network for the playoffs that year.
Oh, how cool is that?
So we kept winning.
Right.
And then one night, it was a Wednesday, and my internet was slow. So I'm like, let me check my Instagram. And lo and behold, there was a DM from the NFL saying, you're a semifinalist. So I went.
That is so cool. I love this story. I love this story.
Yeah. It all just snowballed from there. So everything moved very fast. Chiefs won. We kept forwarding or advancing. And I was actually at the playoff game. And they won, and I had an email in my email box while I was still at the stadium.
Was that the Tennessee, the AFC Championship game we won against Tennessee? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're like, book your flight. And I'm like, oh my God, it's happening.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was just the beginning. 2 winners from San Fran went. So I took my brother.
That's awesome.
It felt like the right thing to do.
How cool is that?
So him and I took off to Miami, but it was 4 days. Total VIP. Like, we went to the NFL experience. We went to parties. We went to the NFL Honors Award show. We walked the red carpet.
So this wasn't paid for by the Chiefs. This was paid through the NFL, through their fan experience.
Yep. So that was the grand prize of the 100 years of football season.
Man, that's super cool,
But
dude.
that
That's
was-
really cool, man.
That's not it.
That's real. No, I'm real. We're listen. We want to keep hearing the rest of it. Tell us the rest of it, Cristy. I'm just like, this is cool.
I still get goosebumps when I tell this story. So we literally hung out with the 2 San Fran winners.
Right.
And to top it all off, he proposed to her during one of our interviews at the stadium. So it was all just feel good. And we went to a private party, and Pitbull played, and Shaq, and everybody was there.
That's
It was
awesome.
amazing. And then went to the game. And about the last 6 minutes, they took us down to the tunnel because one of us was going to launch the confetti, the post-game confetti.
Bro, can you imagine that, the post-game confetti? Come on now, man. Keep going, Cristy. Keep telling us the story.
We all know how that game was going.
Yes, we do.
So they pulled, his name was Francisco, and we're still all friends to this day. But
Even after taking 2 Super Bowls from the Niners, you're still friends with him? He's still okay talking to you, even though we've taken 2 of them from them. Okay, keep going. So Francisco's a good sport.
He is.
Right, you ain't lying.
And we are, because we're winning. So.
It's easy to be on our end.
It is. But yeah, so they pulled Francisco ahead to get him ready to go out on the field.
Wow.
And
Too
then,
early, bro. Too early.
So my brother and I my brother was like, yeah, man, I think you're going to win. And I'm just looking at my brother like, what are you saying? He's like, it's strategy. He's like, I'm psyching him out.
Right.
I'm like, perfect, because it's working. So the last 6 minutes, they took myself and Francisco to the sidelines. So we watched that much of the game on the field
on the
there.
Sidelines.
Yeah, we were right behind the Chiefs cheerleaders. So he was like, he had no chance. He was the only 49er like in the area.
Right.
But yeah, then we scored.
Yeah. That run by Williams after we were already up by 3 or 4. Frank Clark made a sack. We get the ball back. Williams has that big run. Right.
Yeah.
Then we go up 11. Now we're up 31-20. You're like, Francisco, go get you a hot dog or something, bro. Go get you a Coke or something. Because I would have been like, Francisco, I'm sorry, bro, but.
It was funny. They moved him.
I'm impressed, boy. Your memory is like an elephant.
I'll tell you my memory.
Goodness,
I'm telling you, bro. Listen, I don't miss. Anyway, Cristy, keep going. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I like to hear this too, because I was too caught up. I don't remember the score.
Right.
But so they moved Francisco away, and they moved me in position. So we won. They counted me down, and I pushed this huge button, and just the confetti started flying.
So you gotta shoot the confetti when we won a Super Bowl, bro.
That's crazy. You know what? I thought I saw you.
Listen, I'm telling you what.
That's crazy.
On Love You Bro podcast, we don't just do the athletes. We get the people behind the scene. We get people like Cristy Guy, who shot the confetti on the field when we won Super Bowl 54. First Super Bowl win in 50 years. I know DeJuan was in the house because he's going to tell about his story, and now he cuts 15's hair because I know he cuts 15's hair. So I know he was at the Super Bowl cutting multiple players' hair, but I'm excited to hear about that. But how cool is that, Chris? You got to shut off the confetti cannon that started all the confetti to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Man, and you know what? I'm going to give a quick shout out to Francisco. You a good sport, Francisco.
Yes.
You a good short, man. You a good sport, man, because we've taken two Super Bowls from you guys. But that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. You have to shout out to my brother, too, for grooming me into a Chiefs fan at a young age.
I love that. Shout out to what's your brother's name?
Bruce.
Shout out to Bruce, too, man, for making Cristy a Chiefs fan. What an awesome experience.
Yes.
I mean, that's something that's the stuff that we like to hear. Jamie and I both talk a lot about how our dad started season tickets in 1965, and I know people hear this on the podcast all the time. He started season tickets in 1980 or 65, and we have 8 tickets now, Section 20, that we've had, and it's been because of our dad. And that's really what started us in the sports world and started us loving sports and playing all that kind of stuff. So we have pictures of us in the 70s. I'm an old guy, Cristy. We have pictures of us in the 70s at Arrowhead when the trees were just getting planted outside Arrowhead.
Wow.
I mean, before, there was no tailgating, bro. There was no tailgating. You drove to the game, boom, you went in. Jamie and I used to chase each other in the end zone, up and down the end zone, bro, because there was only 30,000 people there. You couldn't give your tickets away.
No, you
They were 4-12, 3-13, 2-14. But that was our enjoyment as a family.
Yeah.
You know, we'd go. My mom make lunch, whatever. We'd go out. We call back then we call picnic. My mom would bring food out. But it was so much fun. That's always been a family tradition of ours. A cool story, just really quick about Super Bowl 54. When you guys were able to do that, I did not attend Super Bowl 54. I had the opportunity to go through one of our players I was working for. And I chose to stay home at the time because my mom and dad started the season tickets, right? Mm-hmm. And I said, this is my first opportunity to watch the Super Bowl with my mom and dad. So my entire family was at my house.
Oh, nice.
We lost my mom in 2020 in September. So that was the last football game we ever watched as a family together was Super Bowl 54. So those type of moments there, you can't. I think I would have been more upset had I been in Miami, knowing that was the last game my mom watched.
Yeah.
So I've got to enjoy that with my mom and dad, the 54 and then 57 and 58 with my dad at home. As much as I've wanted to go to the games, it's meant more to me to be with him because he started all this, and being around my family every time has just made it unforgettable experiences. You know, love the work that you do and D-Bonds does and that I get to do with these guys. Yeah. But those memories are memories we can't ever. I mean, like your memory on that field that day, though. What an awesome memory, Cristy.
It's experience of a lifetime for
sure.
Yes, for sure.
I mean, firing off the confetti cannon.
I'm speechless. Yo, that's great.
Gee, bro, the stuff you get to do and the stuff she gets to do.
Absolutely.
Man, I mean, you guys, I'm jealous of all the stuff you guys both get to do. That's why I brought you guys on here tonight. So, like I said, I can't thank you guys enough for like coming on. We got so much more to talk about, so much more to get into. But we're gonna take a little break right now.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Sounds
All
good.
right. So, Cristy, again, just talking about just your whole experience there on Super Bowl 54 and shooting that confetti off and everything.
Yes.
I mean, I'm still jealous. I'm still jealous about that. And I'm still, listen, I haven't told this guy yet this, but I'm jealous about this season too, about the end of the Super Bowl. Jessica and I talked about this. You was on stage. You got to be on stage for the parade this year. So I'm a little jealous that you got to shoot the confetti off. My man was on stage up there kicking it, and I was in the crowd. I was like, Demon! Like he didn't even know where I was. I was like, Cristy. Jessica's like, they don't see you. We're like 100,000 people back. So I'm jealous of what both you guys get to do. But how awesome was that, shooting that confetti? Was that just the coolest?
The coolest.
Yeah?
I don't know if anything will top that.
Oh, like you said, once in a lifetime experience. You take that to the grave.
Exactly.
That is awesome.
Yo, that's crazy. So how many years was it since we had last shot? Did they have confetti in Super Bowl 4?
Probably not.
So
probably not.
How many years was that? You know what I mean? So that's crazy. You was able to pop the button like
50 years. Yeah, 50
years.
Yeah.
We did.
We won in Super Bowl 4, Super Bowl 54. That's the crazy thing. It was 50 years later.
Yeah, 50 years later.
This one cool story. So my dad back in the day, Super Bowl 4, I was in New Orleans. So they did the parade here. There is an album cover that I promised Brett and I promised Coach Reed I would bring it to the stadium and show it to him. It's Chiefs and it's Bill Grigsby on radio, and it's on this record, but on the cover of the album and one of the 4 pictures down the left-hand corner, I forgot what it was. I think my dad had a sign that said "Down with Lombardi," and my dad, my sister, my mom, and my 2 brothers were in the picture, and it's on this album.
Oh, you're kidding.
But my dad's wearing this red velvet fedora hat that he bought back in the day. Wolf Brothers. Back in the day. Bro, he wore it to the parade. Only time he ever wore it. It's in a box right now in plastic.
I want that hat.
I want that
hat.
I told my brothers, you guys can have the house, you have everything else. I just want the fedora. That fedora is too cool.
I'm a fedora freak, bro. I want that hat.
So listen, we talked a little bit about Cristy being there, Super Bowl 54, Miami, shooting off the cannon. Let's talk a little bit about you and some of the boys. Tell me how you got, first of all, how you got to the Super Bowl 54 and what that experience is like, and who were your guys and how they'll all get set up for you to be at Super Bowl 54, cutting those guys' hair.
I mean, that all started with 15, you know. So, 15 made a call, and he was just like, hey, I need to make sure that I stay groomed, stay clean, keep the same routine that I've been going through for the whole season. Let's just say for that whole season. And so he made the call to Andy and was like, hey, you know what? I need to make sure my barber is there, because the whole saying, look good, feel good, play good. So that's kind of what happened with that situation there. Awesome. He made the call to Andy, and they made sure that I was out there to take care of 15 and the host and the players and coaching staff.
Cool. Awesome. I love it, man. That's so cool, man. Congratulations to you and all your success, both you guys, to all your success. Because when I sit there and tell you that I'm jealous, it's not that. It's I love to sit back and admire people and what they're doing in their fields and how they got there. Because I know both of you started from the ground up and work hard. Nobody just laid it out for you to be like, hey, this is where you're at. I'm gonna put you up here. You guys have worked from the bottom up, and that's super cool to have some homegrown people here that have worked as hard as you guys have to get where you're at. So Super Bowl 54, what were some of the cool experiences? I know you did not get to shoot the confetti off, but tell me about some of your Super Bowl 54 experiences.
Well, I didn't have the cool experience that Cristy had for sure, but I did have opportunities to experience the game. And being at the game, I will go back to what you said, being there with your mom and being there with your family. I realized once I was there that I missed that, because all the years of being watching the Super Bowls, not our team, but just watching Super Bowl games, I was watching the game with my family and friends, and I missed that. I was at the Super Bowl by myself or with a stranger, that I sat next to.
Right.
And I took all the video that I could. I took everything in that I could, and it was a great experience. Aside the one thing, though, because that whole thing, like you said, you did the fan experience. I did the fan experience. It chewed my battery.
Oh, wow.
So by the time I got to the game and I was doing all the video and I didn't close all my windows down, and next thing you know, the most important part of the game, I'm in red.
Oh man.
Man, so I found myself in the third quarter on the wall charging, watching from a TV. So I was like, man, this ain't really how I want to watch this game. So we were losing.
Third quarter, we losing. You over there charging your
I'm
phone.
on the wall charging. And then got back and I juiced up enough, got back to my seat. Of course, the outcome, we win. Cristy shooting off I knew she was shooting. I knew she was shooting the confetti and everything. So she shot the confetti off, and we win. We are the champions. Song is playing. That's all great. And Deja Vu hit again in not the next Super Bowl, because the following Super Bowl I had COVID.
Right, that was a Tampa Bay. That was a Tampa Bay.
And that's why we lost.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that. We're gonna talk about that here in a second. But let's go back for a second. You said you charged your phone, right?
Yeah.
Please tell me you got that pass to Tyreek Hill and late in the third that got us back into the game. Did you get that one on video? That long throw, the that Mahomes made.
DeJuan was
to
still
Tyreek
charging.
that got us back in the game. You were still charging.
I was still charging. So I don't think I got that.
DeJuan.
Yo, I don't think I got that.
Yeah, that was that long pass play, man, that got us back in it.
So yeah, I mean that was my experience. I'll go back to the halftime show. It don't have the same effect that you do when you have it at home.
I know.
I wanna watch the game at the crib, but I also know that when we are there again for the three-peat,
yes, sir.
I guess I'll be in New Orleans.
You'll be in New Orleans.
Yeah,
you'll be in New Orleans, because I think we're gonna go back this year, guys. I think just from the stuff I've seen this offseason, talking to guys, I think offensively they're faster. I think defensively they're faster, which is just scary to think of. Mm-hmm. It's almost like looking at, you got a Lamborghini out there, and now all of a sudden they got newer Lamborghinis, and you're like, oof, like what are they gonna do with this? So I think you're gonna continue doing your stuff. I'm gonna continue doing a little personal assistant work. My man's gonna continue cutting hair, and we're gonna see him in New Orleans. But listen, let's go. Let's talk a little bit about Super Bowl 55, though. Mm-hmm. That COVID, you had COVID and did not go to the Super Bowl 55 when we played Tampa Bay, correct? In Tampa?
Yeah.
What was that? When did you find out? Had you been cutting anybody's hair? When did you find out you had COVID? Like, how'd that go down?
Well, it was an opportunity for me to get, to retain new clients. That's how I looked at it. Like I was able to, I wanted to be able to not only cut who I normally cut, but I earn the opportunity to earn new clients with them. And, again, 15 was like, hey, you know what? We need my barber to come in. And, there's probably 3 or 4 or 5 or more other barbers that cut other players, because there's 90-some players on the roster. So at that point, I'm not the only barber, but, he said he wanted me to come in, and he approved it. I go in, I test days before, and then like that Friday, he was like, yeah, you're good. I mean, I tested.
Right.
But he's like, you tested fine 2 days ago, so you're good. Go ahead and go through.
Right.
And so I was like, cool, I tested. They didn't make me wait. I pulled my barber chair off the truck, set up. I'm already on Kilgore. I mean, I'm cutting him.
Right.
And then the guy comes in and he's like, hey, he said, you tested positive. I was like, I know you're not talking about me. I feel fine.
Right.
So I'm still cutting. He said, so when you get done with this cut, we need to test you again. I was like, oh, you talking to me? So I was like, okay. I sure enough thought he was talking to Daniel Kilgore. I was like, he's not talking to me.
Right.
So I go in there, and the thing is, the whole media thing says Patrick is next. He was finna cut Pat next.
Right.
Then after that, it was player after player.
Yeah.
Because they had a little sign-up sheet.
Of course.
So I go in there and test again, and it was positive.
It was positive.
Yeah, they was like, yo, you need to pack up and go home.
You need to pack up quick and get out of here.
But I feel fine.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just
crazy.
like that. So then after that, it hit national news.
Of course. I saw everybody saw the team barber got COVID, man.
ESPN's calling me, National Enquirer's calling me. Everybody wants. I said, hey, how much y'all paying?
Listen, me and Jamie was about to call you too, because Jamie's like, man, if 15 can't play in the Super Bowl, man, I'm calling DeJuan because I already got COVID.
Right.
I'm like, bro, who knows what that media is blowing up.
I love
man.
Pat. Did you see how he looked walking to the Super Bowl?
No, I did not.
He was clean, but the headpiece wasn't right.
His headpiece wasn't right?
It wasn't right. So, I don't know. People say that I'm the reason.
Well, you know what?
I ain't claiming it.
Hey, that's the reason. We'll take that one. We just got 4, 5, 6 more to win anyway.
So we good, man. We should have 4.
I know. But you know what? We're gonna get that 3-peat. We're gonna put that up. We're gonna keep rolling.
Right.
We're gonna keep rolling. That. Cristy, tell us a little bit about. I know you brought some of your stuff. You got some merchandise, some stuff you're working on. Some of the stuff that you make here.
Yes.
We've got some of your masks over here.
Yes.
Tell me how the mask started, where that came from. Tell me a little bit about this.
So the mask. So the year I went to the Super Bowl, I like to be immersed in the season. So that's when I painted my face.
Right.
And then COVID happened. So took a year or 2 off because it just wasn't there. Then last year, I was like, what can I do this year? Every single week. So I'm like, let me do mask. And I just loved it. Like, it's so creative.
Show me some of these masks you brought.
Right.
You brought some masks with you today. Show me some of these masks you brought with you.
I think this is when we played Philly.
Super Bowl 57.
Yes.
Super Bowl 57, yes?
Yes.
I love it.
This one. So all of this material is what I already had at home. So I'm like, let me figure out a way to use up my resources because not only do I do makeup and wardrobe styling, but I've been a seamstress since I was 10.
Oh, that's very
and
cool.
I have fabric
all over the place. All over the place.
that I need to get rid of.
Yeah, that's very cool.
So, and if you grab that black one.
I'll grab the black one for you.
So this is the Halloween mask.
Okay.
So chief style.
Okay.
So it went week to week. I post it on social and people just like to look at them and it gets other people like in the mode of game day. And
now would you make these for anybody for game day?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
So I want you to tell us about, any type of website you have or a link you have where people could do and have these masks made.
Yes.
Please.
So
Very cool.
I have my career of makeup, hair, and wardrobe, but I recently combined my passion of sports and fashion and started Hometown Hottie.
Hometown Hottie.
And it's all custom, one-of-a-kind sportswear.
Very cool.
These are not on there, but you can definitely inquire about them.
Oh, check this mask.
I do I was waiting on you to
check that 15 mask out.
Yeah,
DeJuan, let me ask you a question too. Listen, I know you got a big birthday party coming up.
Need one, DeJuan.
Could Jessica and I, could we buy a couple of those masks? Babe, would you wear one of those masks to DeJuan's party?
This is.
Well, we're getting ready to talk about the merch she's making over here because I want her to make me some stuff for the season for sure. But I was just curious if you wear one of these masks to me to DeJuan's party. What do you think?
What?
Could Jessica and I wear one like these masks to your party?
Come on, you need to have
absolutely.
a masquerade birthday party.
I think Jessica look great in that mask.
Masquerade party.
Masquerade
party.
This is fire. I really like this one.
Beautiful.
I was sitting here looking at it.
Beautiful.
But yes, I love it. I love
Very
it.
cool.
Can I see that one? Yeah.
The Halloween one?
No, I like this.
This one.
And that one's really cool.
Falcon.
Let me see this.
But I have one for.
Oh man,
I created one for every game day and
that is so cool.
playoff. So
I love that Halloween one. The Halloween one's fun.
Yeah.
That Halloween one's very
Look
cool.
like some Jason.
Yeah,
Yes.
that Halloween one's very cool. What about this
and
one
then
back
this
here?
one's a double. It's layered, so that sets on top of it.
I'm gonna get this here. Show us what
This is DeJuan Party Ready.
Ooh, I love it. Let me.
Ooh,
the
sorry.
Halloween one back here.
All of those are great.
So this one's layered.
So that's the layered one, okay? Oh yeah, okay.
So,
All right.
so how, let me just ask you: all those like masks look like they kind of have the same eye setup. So are they custom to different face shapes?
No. So
is it
the
gonna be
actual base is just
one size?
It's one size with all different like exterior design, and then sometimes I cut them, but all the eye shapes are the same.
So what if someone's eyes is closer to this?
Then they're
They're gonna look awful weird in
Yeah.
this mask.
but
it's
like
pretty
one size all.
universal. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I love those masks. We'll put some of those masks back in. We'll put them back in.
Yeah.
And then tell us a little bit about Hometown Hottie. Hometown Hottie. Is it hometownhottie.com? What's the link?
Hometown-hottie.com.
Hometown-hottie.com.
Yes.
Okay, that's the site. And
That's the site.
You said the masks are not on the site.
They're not on there, but I will definitely add them.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the stuff that we got back here.
Okay.
Let's bring some of the stuff in a little bit. Do you want to grab some of the stuff and show some of the stuff that you got there?
Sure.
Bring some of that stuff over.
Sure.
Maybe start with that jacket, the 15 jacket that you made, and we'll show some of the other ones. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Bring that one over.
Yeah, so this one, hometown-hottie.com it's all one of a kind, custom. Most of it's reworked or upcycled.
Okay.
This one, someone sent me a jersey, and so I just took it and worked it in with some fabric and made it to what it is.
I love it. Can I see this? I want to kind of show like our Love You Bro podcast audience of just what Cristy did with this thing. And this is basically set off a jersey that was sent to her, and then she put the fabric. See, she's got the AFC patch up there, the captain part of the jersey, and then the back part of it. But super cool, super fun, Cristy. I really like that.
Yeah,
I really like that a lot.
It's so creative. It's definitely combining my passion. So
right, and like you said, it's one of a kind sportswear, right? It's not something you're going to see in a store where there's multiple. It's one of a kind stuff that you make.
All one of a kind.
Very cool. So people can send you jerseys, and then you'll make a vest or coat or sweatshirt off it.
Yep, I call it sassy swagging a little badassy.
I like that. Sassy swagging a little badassy. I like that. I want to see the sweatshirt over here because I want to ask you.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a special person that we know, or is there a special person out there that's kind of? Thank you, DeJuan, for your help.
Thank you, DeJuan.
Are we going to set this back up? Please set this back up here and just kind of let this sit on here.
Yeah.
Let this jacket sit up here.
Thank you, DeJuan.
Because I'm seeing this, and I know that I have a daughter. I have a daughter who is a Swiftie, and I'm just curious and looking at that. Yes. Does that look a little Taylor? Is that me, or is that correct?
That could be a little Taylor.
It could be a little Taylor.
Could. Oh yeah.
It could be a little Taylor.
I'm
thinking I may be buying that off you when I leave here to send to my daughter too.
Sounds good.
I love it. Let's show that a little bit, Chris. I like this. Tell us about this one.
This one, it's just taking. So the whole thing is definitely like one of a kind. So I'm going to go back a little bit. So I worked for a sports architecture firm. Okay. It was HOK Sport. Now it's known as Populous. So they designed the stadiums, arenas, and I worked in marketing and graphic design there. Mm-hmm. And what I learned there was how to customize to clients like nobody's business. So that just became instilled in me. Right. So I've carried that for sure into this. So I want everything custom. Like if DeJuan said, "Hey, Cristy, make something," like I kind of know DeJuan, so I know some things he likes, but I just totally like to cater these to the individual. I
love that.
So
I love the one when you said the one of a kind. I love that because I know we're going to get a little bit about DeJuan and what he's doing in the fashion world. I know he's dressing some people and some people going to him. So, and knowing him and just hearing you say that, I know this guy's a guy that likes that one of a kind stuff. He's not a guy that's going to go to a store and look and see 30 shirts up there and buy one of them because he knows 29 of the guys that can't see they're wearing them. Right. That's not this guy. But so I love that. I love the one of a kind. Yes. I love that. I love it. So tell us the link again that people can go and send you stuff, or they can go on your link to see what they can do with that.
Yes, it's hometown-hottie.com, and that's HOTTIE.
Hometown Hottie?
Yes.
Hometown-hottie. Hometown-hottie.com.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm hoping some of our Love You Bro podcasts will send you some jerseys and have some things, because I know my beautiful fiance over there is going to want to have some stuff done for this season. She likes the one of a kind stuff too.
Awesome.
But DeJuan, let's come back over to you, man. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing. I see your Instagram. I see your post. I see you doing something. Tell us about your Instagram. Tell us about that handle and what you're doing with that.
I definitely will, but Hometown Hottie, I'm gonna definitely be calling you about some things because I'm gonna tell you something. I was over here thinking like, I didn't know that about you, and that's awesome because I love fashion. Mm-hmm. That's one of my loves. So I'm always at the tailor. So if Monday is my off day, then I'm always at the tailor. So I'm gonna be calling you about some things.
Okay, I'll answer.
Yeah. So but yeah, like fashion is one of my hobbies that I love to do. I love to dress. I love to shop. Shopping kind of like it gives me peace. You know, like I'm always at the mall. I actually just went to the mall with one of my boys the other day. He's like, man, you know everybody. Everybody knows you. I was like, yeah, I'm here checking the mail every week to make sure that I don't miss anything. And I shop from H&M to Neiman Marcus.
Right.
So I find something everywhere. It doesn't matter. I used to say that I can make things at Target work, but I can't. There's not enough starch in Target. You can't make a Target shirt stand up like you wanted to. But I love to shop, man, and that's just one of my things. I love trying to dress people. I love to influence in that way, you know. And I actually like dressing just for self more than anything. And so if I can help someone else try to get themselves dressed for an occasion, then I'm all about it.
Right.
And it's not even about a price with me. I'm just want to help people, you know, try to configure an outfit for an event.
You know, I've always known that about you. You know, being one of those guys that always kind of love to get back and do that. I think you're a great role model in our community, what you've done with your barbershop, what you've done. But just giving back, seeing your son come up, you were telling me earlier off set that he's a bad boy for the Royals. I think that's super cool. But that, you know, dad can only lead so much and make those introductions and make that. Then he's got to take that from there. Mm-hmm. But I can just tell you, just seeing the stuff you've done in the community and stuff, you've been a great role model, man, to kids. You know, kids that want to get in the barber game, I wish they'd reach out to you and talk to you a little bit about it. Because like I said, I know you started from the ground up. Man. But what's your Instagram handle on your clothing? Because I know you've been kind of dressing people and doing that. But what's your Instagram handle on that? My
Instagram handle is let me dress you, spelled LEMME. Dress you. So, and then of course, Purple Label Barbershop is where I do a lot of my haircut displays and, you know, sharing my life a little bit on social media comes through those two. And then I got Juan Coolio, that's more of my personal thing.
Juan Coolio, that's another Instagram handle. I didn't know about that. See, I didn't know about that handle, Cristy. See, my man, back in the day, we was together all the time. Now I'm not as much. So see, I didn't know about the Juan Coolio.
Juan Coolio knew.
Juan Coolio.
Yeah,
I knew it was the Juan Coolio.
Juan Coolio is new. I don't know. Time flies, man. Ain't been around that long.
Right. So in your clothing part of it, like I said, I remember back when we were traveling together, we were going to different cities, mainly out to San Diego, and Mike B was flying us out there. But I remember, you couldn't get you guys out of the mall, bro. Couldn't get you guys out of the mall. Yeah. Back then, bro, you couldn't get you out of the mall. All you had to do was say mall. These guys were gone. I'm like, where you at? I'm like, where are they at, man? They're at the mall. All afternoon, like gone, like mall. So I know DeJuan's always been around the fashion world and been a guy that likes to go to the mall and do that. And especially you like to shop like when you're traveling out of town, right? Because you want to see the different stores and see all
first stop. Like a little short story. Like we had, I had traveled with a group of guys that did some fantasy football. I've never done fantasy football. Don't want to be locked into football like that. So they had their draft. They're like, well, what you gonna do? We're gonna be drafting for about 4 or 5 hours. I said, just drop me off at the mall. I'm good. So I literally went to the mall when it opened at 10, and they probably picked me up at like 4. And they was like, I was at home. I was good.
That's crazy, man. They're doing the fantasy football draft, and this guy's shopping all day.
I was good. Only thing that hurt me was my arms for carrying all the luggage. You know, all the bags that, you know, it's like sockets was pulling from my arms.
That's so funny. I love that, man. Cristy, so with your stuff and with the stuff you've got going on, is that just the best way for people to do is just go to your link, go to your site, send you stuff?
That's Hometown Hottie for the clothes, and then my commercial makeup, hair, and styling career is CristyGuy. CristyGuy.com.
CristyGuy.com. Mm-hmm. And that's a professional part of the makeup and wardrobe stuff that you do?
Yes. Yep.
That's awesome. How long have you been doing the makeup and wardrobe?
I hate to say this.
That's okay.
Should I say it, DeJuan?
I mean, let them know.
I'm going to age you too.
Yeah, people want to know. But you already said it, though. You don't even remember.
January will be 25 years.
January will be 25 years. Congratulations. That's awesome. Good for you, man.
Yes.
25 years. I love that.
Yep.
Kudos to you.
Freelance, 25 years, yes.
I've been doing primetime assistance for 22 years
Oh.
and then primetime transportation since 2016.
Nice.
So been doing this
Congrats.
for a minute. DeJuan, how about you? When did NAP start? What year did NAP start? Go ahead, bro. Age yourself, because I'm ready to throw your birthday party out right now, bro.
Hey, look, like
It's close.
96.
Yeah. That's
96.
right.
I graduated in 92.
Okay.
I played in college for a little bit. I went to college for a year and a half, and
Okay.
then I opened my own barbershop in 96.
Good for you, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now you got a big birthday coming up, man, because I know you got a little shindig coming up. I know Jessica and I are talking about she's trying to find what she's gonna wear that night. So do you want to say what year that party is? What you celebrating? Year what? I ain't gonna put him on the spot like that. My man knows I ain't gonna put him on the spot like that. Listen, he got a birthday coming up, man.
A big one.
I love this guy, man. Like I said, we've been around doing this for a long time. I can't thank both of you enough for coming on Love You Bro podcast.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that Jamie and I love doing. I'm sad he's not here tonight, but it means the world to me because I know people take time out of their schedules. I know how busy you are. I know how busy you are. And I can't thank you guys both enough for taking time out to be a part of our podcast.
Yeah.
We just want to continue bringing on cool guests, cool vibes in Kansas City. We want our podcast to grow and just share the love and share out there what all you guys are doing, what everybody does behind the scenes. So,
Can I say one thing?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm very proud of him because just knowing how long ago we met and like how both of us are progressing, it's always very cool to see you on set. So.
Oh wow, thank you. And you know what? I would say that this one thing too, because when we met back in, I don't even know, was it 98?
It was a long
99, or maybe early 2000.
Yes.
Whenever Rockaware was popping, everybody was wearing that, and LJ was bigger than life.
Right.
That was when we first met, and we worked together with Patrick on different sets and all kind of things. But she actually got a chance to powder me up for the first time.
I did.
When was that?
On a commercial that's coming real soon.
Commercial
We can't say what it is, but
so,
yes.
we got to be on the NDA, but it's a commercial
It
coming
came
really
full
soon.
circle.
And she actually got a chance to work on me.
Man, so
And
you're coming out of commercial too now?
I'm about to be
My man.
bigger than life. Yeah,
I love it. I love it. Listen, man, congratulations to both you guys for all your success. Thank you guys for coming on and spending some time on Love You Bro podcast.
Thank you.
I can tell this guy, I love you, bro. I can't say it to you,
Right.
Cristy. I love you, bro, so
Love you,
much,
bro.
man.
For
Thank you
sure.
so much for
Yeah.
being on, man.
Thanks
Thank
for
you so
having
much.
me.
Cristy, thank you for coming on set.
You're
It's
welcome.
fantastic to hear your
Thank
story.
you.
I hope that we are blessed to continue to grow together. We keep crossing paths and doing this. And we come on after a couple more Super Bowls and come back to this podcast.
For
you know,
sure.
my brother and I, we're gonna chase those Kelsey brothers. We're gonna chase that new heights. I'm not gonna get there, but you know what though? That's a goal of mine is to bring on Travis. Travis, if you ever out there listening or anybody else, you know that I'm gonna ask you and Jason to come on this podcast. So I love you guys, and like I said, man, thank you guys so much for coming on tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.